333 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and get this, he had 4 carries for 55 yards.
Okay.
So what's your take on this, man?
I thought this was one of the better matchups of the week. You know, both of those teams being 1-0, winning their first game, and then the whole thing with Andy Reid playing against his old team. Really, right now, Alex Smith is looking like one of the better quarterbacks to start the year out. I mean, a lot of people don't give him a lot of credit. They look at him as like a game manager type quarterback. He doesn't seem to stack up with the Bradys, the Rodgers, the Drew Breeses when you talk about quarterbacks, but he can pretty much run that offense for Andy Reid.
I'm telling you, man.
And then Kareem Hunt had another breakout game too. So this kid each week is gaining a lot of
proving himself.
Momentum. He's proven himself. So I kind of like what Kansas City's doing. They're a dangerous football team. So
definitely,
you know, I think they will be in the mix of things in the AFC. For Philly, they're 1-1 right now, but they play in the NFC East. We know that division is always up for grabs, no matter what point of the season it is, because once they start playing each other, things will start getting rough in that division for the Giants, for the Cowboys, for the Eagles, and for the Redskins. So Philly still has an opportunity. This loss shouldn't really have nothing to hang their heads about here. It was a tough road game for them.
Yeah.
They opened up the season with 2 road games, so that's always tough to do when you look at that at the schedule. But Carson Wentz, to me, has a strong upside. They've got some good things going there in Philly. But, KC took it.
Definitely. Getting back on Kareem Hunt, like I said, he had a breakout game again, 81 yards and 13 carries for 2 touchdowns. But one thing I noticed, I don't know if you ever got to catch any highlights or catch the game in general, the Chiefs had some really boisterous celebrations they celebrated. When Travis Kelce scored, it looked like he kind of imitated the eagle. And then when Kareem Hunt scored, he fell asleep on the ball, basically saying to seal the game. So I wanted to know that to me, that was arrogant. That was just like some real arrogant in your face.
That's called swagger.
That's okay.
I like it. It's all in the fun of the game. It's competition.
True.
And I think, if you're going to play somebody, you're going to get, picked at, you're going to get imitated or mocked, so to speak.
Right.
It's in every sport we see. I still think they have the sportsmanship. They still respect it's all in the spirit of competitiveness at the end of the day. And, right now we got this team riding the high. They got a lot of energy going right now to start the season. So I per se, I don't really have a problem with it, but most time you don't have a problem with it if it's not you. But then somebody's picking on you or whatever, you kind of get upset about it. But my thing is, it's football. Go out there and do something about it.
That's true, man. I just looked at it, I guess, from both perspectives. I mean, like you said, the Eagles should have done something about it, and they couldn't, so they had to take it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, definitely, if I get beat up and then laughed at, that's
a lot. It's no different than what Baker Mayfield did last week.
Oh, yeah.
For Oklahoma with the whole flag thing. I mean,
that's true.
Same thing make you laugh, makes you cry at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I feel like if Philly would have went in there, got that win, knocked off Kansas City, I think there would have been some kind of boisterous. Some teams are. It just depends on who, the team and the coach and what the coach allows you to do.
Yeah.
I don't think Andy Reid really has an issue with that. He's a rough and tough coach anyway. So as long as they're winning, at the end of the day, he don't really care. But that was a good point you brought up, though.
Definitely, man.
The celebration.
I'm going to give one more game. I'm going to hand it back to you. Ravens and Browns. And both of us, pretty obvious, went with the Ravens.
Yeah.
They pulled out a 24-10 win.
I still don't believe in Baltimore, though.
Really?
That's just me.
But look at the defense. The defense caused 4 interceptions and one forced fumbles, which gives them 10 takeaways in the first 2 games of the season.
That's good. And who did they play the first 2 weeks? Cleveland and who was the first team they beat? I want to say it was Cincinnati, and they're looking like hot garbage can juice now.
This is true.
So okay. Cleveland and Cincy, the whole state of Ohio, and football is really not known for anything in the NFL. So Cleveland hasn't been good since the Jim Brown days. And Cincinnati, they're just looking like trash right now. I mean, do that against a quality team. Do that against Pittsburgh. Do that against New England.
Yeah.
Do that against Kansas City. possibly Denver or somebody, then I can be like, okay, I can take Baltimore seriously. But you do play who's on your schedule. They are 2-0, but they need to show me a little bit more. And then with me, I'm always iffy with Joe Flacco. That I just always felt that way about him.
I got you. Now, I will say that at the end, when they did lose somebody, they lost their 6-time Pro Bowl guard, Marshall Yonder, and fractured his left ankle, and now he's out for the season.
That's tough.
Definitely.
And then I know the week before they lost Danny Woodhead, the running back, the guy, the good pass-catching option out of the backfield. We know Joe Flacco is one of those check-down type quarterbacks. If he doesn't see the deep threat down the field, he throws a lot of screen passes, a lot of dump passes, so that's a big miss for them, too. But they do have Javarius Allen right now, who's a pretty good pass-catching running back out of the backfield. So he is pretty dangerous when it comes down to it.
Okay.
But they're 2-0, so you are what your record says you are.
This is true. Who you got next, man?
Let's see here. We're going to go with the Miami Dolphins playing in their first game because of the Hurricane Irma situation. They had to cancel their game with Tampa Bay, so this is their first game of the season, taking on the LA Chargers. It's a tight game. I went with Miami.
He did.
I went with Jay Cutler, which I wasn't really confident in that pick. It was a toss-up type of game for me. But the Dolphins edged it out 19-17. Right now, the LA Chargers are 0-2 on the year. They've lost some pretty close games. Last week, losing by that field goal to Denver by 3, and now losing by 2 this week.
They lost this one in the late game.
The Chargers, late at the end. So the Chargers have lost 2 games by a combined 5 points. So, I mean, that's just the difference of winning and losing in the league. These 2 games could very well come back to play in the end of the year if they start to rally late and they just miss the playoffs because of these opening 2 games.
But you know what? The thing about the Chargers, I think these first 2 games kind of represented the Chargers' whole career as
Phillip
of
Rivers,
lately. Just in general, they're always a team, not even more so with a game as far as the season. They show up, they have a great game, a great season, and they can never finish the season. And now, like you say, it's getting more in depth, can't finish the game. So, it's really disappointing because, Phillip Rivers has been a very dominant quarterback. He's one of the underrated great quarterbacks in the league. So for him to just, the team to not get it together is really disappointing to see.
The only time I can even recall the Chargers really having like a breakout season was the year that LaDainian Tomlinson, he was there a lot of years, but I want to say it was in 2006 when Marty Schottenheimer was still there. They went 14-2 that year.
Right.
LT won the MVP. Phillip Rivers was still young. You're breaking into the league or whatever. And the Patriots went in there and beat them in the divisional round. They were the 1 seed. And they were 14-2 that year, lost the opening game in the playoffs. And I really haven't seen a lot from the Chargers organization since then. They did go to the 2008 AFC Championship game where the Patriots, you get that, you keep hearing the consistent word, the Patriots beat them again. That was the year the Patriots went undefeated for the regular season. They ended up losing to the Giants in the Super Bowl. But that's a story for another day. We're not going to talk about that. But I'm just saying, in regards to the LA Chargers, it's just been a lot of underachieving. And they have really paid this guy bank. A lot of money. Then they have good talent, Keenan Allen. They're doing some good things with Phillip Rivers, but they just can never really cultivate into a lot of wins. It's a lot of 8-8, 7-9, barely missing the playoff type stuff with Phillip Rivers.
Who do you place the blame on for this?
They've already changed the coaches, so they're under a new coach this year. They just can't really find any consistency. So I thought maybe the idea of them changing locations would be, a boost of momentum, of freshness for them, but it just doesn't seem to. I do like Melvin Gordon. They do have an all-pro running back. I think he's going to have a phenomenal career, but I just feel like when it comes down to Phillip Rivers, you have to finish games in the NFL. That's just something you have to do. You can't continue to leave opportunities on the table each and every week.
Definitely.
Well, that's just my take. So we're going to move on to. This was another low-scoring game, the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. We know Seattle came in this game 0-1. So they got that first win of the season. It wasn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination. And to me, they always kind of struggle with the 49ers a little bit. The 49ers has always been kind of that team that has really gave Seattle some problems.
Yeah.
And they barely won 12-9. They haven't really scored a lot of points this season because they lost the first game 17-9 to the Packers. So Seattle needs to try to get things going offensively. The defense is doing well, not giving up a lot of points, but we still, 12 points is not going to beat a lot of teams in this league.
Definitely not. Even though Russell Wilson, he did have a good game, 198 yards and 23 completions with 1 touchdown. But it was the only touchdown in the game, and they had to wait till the fourth quarter to, actually win that game. So it's, like you said, for whatever reason, the 49ers gives the Seahawks trouble. It's almost like, what I've noticed in the recent years is the Rams is really a team that even when they were having horrible seasons, their defense have given the Seahawks a lot of trouble.
Well, yeah.
So I think every time I see the Rams play the Seahawks, that gives me the spark when they beat them. And it's just the fact that for whatever reason, they kind of have their number a little bit. So, the 49ers, does this make the 49ers seem like a better team, or is it just a team that the Seahawks just has trouble with?
I don't think it makes them a better team. I think sometimes you just have a team's number. They're division opponents, so you play each other twice a year, so you tend to know them better than you would a team that you don't play as often. So you have a lot more, to game plan
experience
against them
with
for. And like I say, with Seattle, it's nothing out of the ordinary that they do offensively. A lot of their offensive plays come from broken plays. It's just Russell Wilson just
moving,
scrambling around, running around, closing his eyes, throwing the ball, waiting for something to happen. But, they've always I just always noticed they always gave them problems.
Yeah. The next game
we both went with Seattle, right?
Yeah, we both went with Seattle.
Cool. All right.
The next game I'm going to get into is Jaguars versus the Titans. And you did the right thing. You picked the Titans. I guess I saw the Jaguars week 1, how they surprised me. It felt like they were going to definitely come against them, and boy, was I wrong. Titans pulled out a massive win, 37-16, with Marcus Mariota having a good night, 15 for 27, 215 yards, 1 touchdowns, but he did have an interception. But Derrick Henry, 14 carries, had 92 yards, which is his career high, with 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that's the thing with me because of DeMarco Murray. I'm pretty sure if there's a lot of fantasy football players out there, a lot of people went with him as one of the top tier running backs. But, really the first 2 weeks have been kind of subpar for DeMarco Murray. He's done some good things since he's been in Tennessee, but so far this year hasn't. Maybe this could be Derrick Henry's opportunity to kind of overtake that starting spot. Don't want to jump to conclusions too quick. But I knew Jacksonville would come back down to earth this week when they played Tennessee. And Tennessee had a tough one last week against Oakland to open up the season, so you knew they were going to come back ready for this week, and I wasn't surprised that they won by the margin that they won by.
Okay.
Let me see. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's not, delay the inevitable. The New England Patriots paid a visit to New Orleans this week.
New Orleans.
Yeah, and they went and played down there in that big old Mercedes Superdome they got, and old man Tom Brady went to work this week.
Man, 36-20.
36-20. Do you have his stats over there? Can you read those?
You want me to read his stats?
Yeah, can you please do that for me?
This man went.
And then after you read his stats, click the good move button for me.
Oh my gosh. He did go 30 for 39, which is
30 for 39.
It's pretty phenomenal. Only 9 incompletions. 447 yards.
Can you say that again?
447
You sure it's not
yards.
200? 300? You sure that's not an error?
Look, it is 447 yards with 3 touchdowns, and you have it. You deserve it. Tom Brady's just. I'm gonna just let it play out.
Yeah, let it play out. I think that. Last week everybody was panicking. Oh my God, Tom Brady looked his age, and I told y'all. The Patriots, it's very rare that they lose 2 games in a row.
Definitely.
It's very rare that happens. Anytime you have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, once they lose, they don't hardly talk when they win. But when they lose, for sure they're going to really game plan for everything.
Definitely.
And you can tell this week was that. Gronk had a breakaway touchdown. I'm pretty sure you were going to get into that too.
Yeah, I guess you want me to finish all these stats.
Can you finish that for me? I just want to gloat in this victory.
Okay.